Okay, welcome to the Monday Vid Conference. It is Monday, the 25th of September. And if it's the 25th of September, 2023, what does that mean? It means that Cheryl Kennedy is with us today. Cheryl Kennedy, who has now become HVS, Home Video Studio Royalty. Cheryl, welcome to the Vid Conference today. And you're going to share with us, we're going to just have a kind of a quick informal conversation about you and your studio, and of course you becoming studio owner of the year this year. So thanks for being here. How are you today?
Doing really well. It's a beautiful day in Green Cove Springs and happy to be alive.
That's great. You're always doing so much in Green Cove Springs. I see you all the time. Did you recently win some award or were nominated, or you're running for something? Or
I I just got nominated for the Clay Chamber is about to have their annual banquet. And sorry, my phone's going off, but I have it on silent. But anyway, so all the little cities within Clay County, they have an award for that city's business of the year. So here in Green Cove, I got a nomination for Green Cove Small Business of the Year.
Cheryl, you're in your studio in Green Cove Springs, Florida. And I just heard you were talking, you were mentioning, because Tom Ott's on here today, one of our studio owners, and he said he called you when he was thinking about becoming a studio owner. Do you remember the first time you heard about home video studio? And that might go back a ways, and then how what was your basic journey from way back when to when you started? Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Sure. I have always been in the video production business, and I used to subscribe to Video Maker magazine and get that through my company that I work for. And I saw an ad for home video studio years ago, and I always loved my jobs that I had, but I would clip that out because I would think this would be a really cool thing to do if I were ever able to, not have to work for another company. And at the time, raising a family and all that goes with that, it wasn't the right timing, but I always had that in the back of my mind. And in the last 6 or so years, my husband had a few job changes, which brought us to Florida. And I just decided to call that number and see what it was all about. And Robert, you answered the phone and explained everything to me, and came for a show and tell, and decided to make this happen.
Yeah, and as I recall, thanks for sharing. So you saw us in Video Maker magazine. You came to a show and tell. You purchased your studio that day, and then it took you a ways, maybe a couple months to get your financing together. Or
Well, we were when I signed on, I wasn't even living here yet, and we didn't have a house. So I think that took another year. um, but I came on board and I came to training, and but then had to wait. It was almost I think it was 10 or 11 months before we got our house where I could have the office and get the equipment and get you down here and get all that worked out. But so it was a slow start, and then as soon as I opened, we got a pandemic. So
oh
it
boy.
was it was a really weird entry into this, not from the business just with the pandemic and not really knowing what normal was. It I didn't have the connections here. I was trying to meet people, but then you couldn't go out. So I was trying to just do whatever I could online. And did have a few networking groups that met online, which helped me get to know people. But it really wasn't until, honestly, I would say the last year and a half, where here we've been able to get out and meet people. I'm in 4 different networking groups, and I've do some volunteer work with the local chamber, and that has really helped people get to know me. And it has definitely snowballed. When people know me and the clients know me, then they're referring me, and I get repeat business. So this year has really been huge. And I think this is more of what my normal is. I think I can still bump it up with my sales, but I'm very, very happy with the way the last year has gone.
Oh, that's great. And you called us and came to a show and tell in fall of 2018. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then 19, you came to the getaway. I do believe. Did you come to the getaway in 20?
I came to advanced training in Indy in March, and then came to the getaway. And then I was still working that other job, and you said it was okay to submit some entries from work I've done with my other job. And I
Right.
actually won a couple Hanleys for a rookie video of the year and short video of the year, I think. Yeah, it was something I'd done for the other company. But so that was fun. It was nice to come on board, even though some of it was hard to understand because I didn't have my own equipment yet, just to meet everybody and go ahead and jump in the classes and get to know all
Yeah.
the wonderful people, that the other owners. That made a huge difference.
Well, there's a huge power in the power of now. And, you came on board. I think this is an important story for um, the studio owners we have now, of course, but future owners, that you need to take action, and your circumstances may not always be the perfect circumstances, but they rarely are. So I was always impressed by your patience in getting the business going. Really great job on that. So this year has been 2023 has been a really good year for you then.
It has. Earlier this year, there's a local newspaper that a lot of people get. It's called Clay Today, and I got nominated for Best of Clay in photo video restoration. I don't think there's a lot of people in that category, but nonetheless, it was just yet another layer to people out there knowing what I do. There's not anyone else in this county that does this. Miguel is a county over, and then there's another man in Jax that does the same thing I do, and he's actually in a couple of my networking groups. And so it's challenged me to share my story differently when we're in the same room and we have to share what we do. I really put an emphasis on the specific jobs I do for people and how meaningful and impactful those are for people to get their memories back in a format that they can watch again. And so I'll share a specific story about a client I'm working with, or a tape I found with bugs in it. I mean, I know I've gotten a bunch of moldy tapes, and I'll share or take pictures and show the group, and those things really show people in the area the depth of what we do, not just transfers, but repairs, slides, films, and audio, and that kind of thing. So I'm really trying to fine tune my message, because to tell, one of the groups, we only have 30 seconds. So I have to be concise, and I have to share a story quickly and meaningful. And it really has made a difference. So yeah, it's been a really a good year.
Would you say that's your specialty, is the photo part of it, the archiving, the retouching, the restoration of photos? Because I know you do a lot of production too. Don't you? Or are you still doing that?
I do a little bit. I did a number of things last year, and I have a few things in the works that I've got some people that have called me for projects that they want to video, and they're kind of unique. So I'm looking forward to that. We're in discussion with them on what they want to do, and you know, their budget and that kind of thing. But I just feel like I don't know if I have one thing that I specialize in. I do love photo restoration, and especially with the whole AI stuff that's out there, it's just amazing. I do have to be careful sometimes because I literally could sit for hours and touch up photos and kind of tweak things and try different things with it. But sometimes you can really get in the weeds, and you have to be careful, you know, to make sure if people want that, that you've got to charge for it. I tend to just do more because I just like it. But I think doing the photo restoration, and I still love to do video editing. Those are probably, and then just the transfer. I mean, quite honestly, the transfers are just, it's fun doing those because I can have those running and do other things. And that just kind of, you know, keeps the office, everything's working. We got everything going. So it's fun to do multiple things at once.
What about great answer, by the way. Of course, there's no wrong answer, but what about what would you say about your personal growth since you became a home video studio? I said when I started home video studio years ago that the person I am would fail, but the person I would become would succeed beyond his wildest dreams. How do you think this whole endeavor has affected you personally beyond just the technical part of it?
I think it's just given me a different level of confidence. I think sometimes I always, like I said before, the majority of the work I did in the corporate environment and with the TV station and radio, absolutely loved it, loved what I did. And there were moments where, you know, you get aggravated with people or bosses, but all in all, it really was a wonderful thing. But I still go back to that when I cut that little ad out. I thought, how cool would that be to have my own business and be able to run that just myself? And I thought, no, I couldn't do that. But this has just helped me realize that, you know, in some ways I wish I did it sooner, but you know, I don't know that I could have done this when I had small kids at home. So sometimes to me, I am mindful of God's timing and all that. I am a believer, and I feel like getting into this business, my husband and I approached it prayerfully, and I think it was just God's timing. But that being said, I feel like I have to get out there and I have to sell. And I was always afraid of that word sell. But it is just, now I see it as just my passion. And when I share that with people, and if, as I mentioned earlier, as I'm sharing these compelling stories, I think people get drawn in and they're like, wow, that's cool. Maybe I'll talk to my grandmother, or maybe I'll talk to my aunt who has tapes in her closet. So it makes them think about their family or their neighbors or their, you know, grandparents or parents that, you know, may have these precious memories in their closet. It's just made me more confident. And then I think a big component of all this is the technology aspect of it. And it's a little scary having this equipment, and if something goes wrong, I was worried about that. But of course, we have all these people in our network and people we can call who can log in. So that is a level of comfort. But even with that, there are still times when I'm here by myself and I just have to figure something out. I mean, this morning I have another Zoom this morning, a networking Zoom that's at 7, and I couldn't get my camera to work. And so I was just trying to figure out what that was. You just have to solve things and not freak out about it. And so I think those are the biggest things, just confidence in sharing and selling what home video studio is, and not being afraid to get up in front of people. One of my networking groups, there's 60 to 70 people in there and you have 30 seconds. And I get nervous every time, but I just try to share from my heart, and people seem to be drawn to that.
Oh, that's great. What you had some, no doubt, some great days in your studio. What about, have there been any days where they were just like everything went wrong? No matter what happened, this, you came in and this didn't work, or tell us about a really good day and a really bad day.
Wow.
Or maybe you don't get very many bad days.
There are not really many bad days. I think sometimes I told you that if I like to have a lot of things running.
Yeah.
One of the things I've learned is that sometimes if I have, especially if I have an edit project and it's there's a deadline.
Right.
I have learned that I can't, because I'm very easily distracted. It's like, oh, look out my window's right here. I can look out there and see, I get easily distracted. So what I've found is I have to kind of turn everything else off and then just do my editing. I just focus on just one project at a time instead of multiples. So that's not really a bad day. A really good day, I think a good day is when I finish a big project and the people are so excited about it. And I love doing deliveries because I'm all over the county and I don't mind meeting people, going to their house. I've gotten to where I have a bag with a logo on it, and I've gotten these just got these cookies made that have decorations on them, that if they had slides, it's got some slides on it and it says thank you. And I'll put a cookie in there. She did like one cookie that has slides, one has videotapes, and one has like little film reels. So depending on what work I did for them, I'm going to put a thank you cookie in there with that on it. And that's kind of something I'm going to try just as a little added special touch.
Wow, I've never heard of this before. You send out cookies. You take a cookie with a picture of the Profit Center on it.
Yeah, I haven't done it before. I had somebody who gave me a thank you cookie for, I took some photographs for her, and as a thank you, she brought me like 12 of these little thank you cookies.
Oh,
And
okay.
you can freeze them. And she had them made as a camera. And so that just gave me the idea, because I loved having those cookies. I thought, what a nice little touch. And it's weird. I don't know if other people experience this or not, but a lot of my clients kind of become friends.
Yes.
Because I think everybody knows that sometimes they're sharing such personal moments, or they cry with you, or they laugh with you, or they say, you might see something on there, a childbirth or something. And so they're kind of, there's been a vulnerability that comes out. And so anyway, I just feel that this is a nice little personal thing that you can add to the thank you note, or, or the thank you email, or whatever you do as a follow-up. But people seem to like cookies.
Well, I love that idea. I really, really do. That is, I want to hear how that continues to play out.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you say to somebody that's watching this video and is not a studio owner, but is thinking about becoming one? What should they take the leap?
Well, I think you do. I do your due diligence, do your homework. I do feel like this is a really, really fabulous business to have. You've got a network of other owners, all these people on here. I could pick up the phone and call any of these people and ask for advice, ask for a joke, ask for a meme. We know Robert loves jokes. You can call him if you need a joke. But in all seriousness, it may not be for everyone, But I just feel like if you have the slightest inclination that you feel like you could do this, I would say just jump in and talk to the other owners and just see, like I mentioned earlier, for me, it wouldn't have worked when I was raising children, just because of the chaotic nature of the household, and where we were, quite honestly, where we were financially then. So that may be a factor, but I do feel like, I truly do feel like you can make good money. Part of the reason I do this now is for, it's just, what's that phrase we use? It's a lifestyle. What is that phrase, Robert?
Lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle thing right now. I want to make money, and a matter of fact, I did a vision board earlier in the year. I think somebody was laughing about that at the getaway, but I did a vision board. I've never done one, but one of my goals was to increase my monthly sales. I haven't done it every month, but I've done it a number of months out of this year, so I was very happy with that. I think you can really make very good money. There's not one person I ever meet and share about the business that says, oh, that's a dumb idea, or, oh, how do you make money with that? They're like, wow, that's just, I think everybody knows somebody who has tapes, films, photos, slides, whatever that they need transferred. And also, as we move into, kind of what's next in technology, I think home video studio can be a resource for what's next as we venture into, because when you started, Robert, you went from film to VHS, and then VHS to DVD,
That's
DVD
right.
out
Yep.
to the cloud or some drive. And people will often ask, what do you think's next? And I say, well, that's why I'm in home video studio, because we're trying to keep up with the technology so we know what to do for people.
Yeah, I really think I really think, who knows what's coming next, but I think we'll be doing some type of holographic videos in about 3 to 5 years. I do indeed. Recreating somebody's, like when you play that video, there it is, and not in 3D, in real life. So
Wow.
that is coming. Could be 100 years from now. I don't know. Okay, so this year I love your vision board, and I have one myself. You do feel, did somebody really say that was kind of funny?
I think it was you, actually.
Oh no, I love it. I have a vision board, but for me,
Yeah.
I have one, but it does kind of feel strange sometimes.
Well, I have a mini one, and so it sits on my
Yeah.
desk. It's smaller, but it looks like a sixth grade science project or something, but it's there. And again, part of my goals involve prayerfully deciding where I want to go, where I want to be. And then and so part of what's on there is to be prayerful about my business and mindful of my goals. And then it looking at it, you have to look at it and go, okay, well, what am I doing to get there? It's not just gonna, you have to work. And that's the other thing I would say to people. I mean, if you come on board, which I would encourage people to come on board with home video studio, but you do have to work. And
Right.
the work is out there, and it's fun and very, very, very rewarding. It's so rewarding.
It's to me, it's like playing a game. I never get tired of playing the home video studio game. So this year you've been playing that game. You come to the 2023 getaway, which I think that would be 4 for you so far. The 4th time you maybe come, because
So
during COVID, we had one year we didn't miss, but we only had like 2 owners that show
yeah,
up.
so I think it was my 3rd in person and my 4th total, because we
Okay.
had the
Yeah.
Zoom. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You come to the getaway, you're at the Hanleys, and I think you won some Hanleys this year. Yeah,
I did.
I
I
think
did.
you did.
I
Um,
did indeed.
well, the first thing you saw is that, in home video studio, we have this thing called 7 stars. It's like a Michelin star, it's like a 5-star restaurant, 4-star hotel. So one year, each year we select one owner to become 7 stars. So this year, that what is it? The Star Wars movie starts, or music starts playing. You hear your name. What do you think about that? I know you were excited, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think I had asked earlier in the year what was involved in that, and I know some of the other owners that are 7 stars, and I respect them and look up to them and ask advice from them. So that was one of my goals, is to become a 7-star studio. And so I was very thrilled and excited about it. And it just, makes you think about, again, you know, doing everything you need to do to stay within the home video studio brand and be a good representative of what we are. And that's kind of what I want to be. I think I have a lot of great examples. A lot of the older owners, not older age, but the ones who have been studio owners, like Art, what, 18 years, 20 years, and different people that have been on board for so long. I just look up to them, Miguel and Debbie and Kelly and Chris. And, so I want to be in that club.
Now we're on to Studio Owner of the Year. Tell us a little bit about that.
You do kind of zone out. And I told my husband later that night, I don't think I ever thanked him. So it is funny because it is so much like the Academy Award. I mean, I've never been to the Academy Awards, but you do feel the excitement. You're all dressed up, and I did not expect that one at all. And so I was just very humbled and honored. Just to that's about all I can. I have no idea what I said, and I think I did get emotional. It just meant a lot. You're with your peers and your friends and people you look up to, and it's an honor to receive that. I was very, very appreciative of it. I hope I thanked everyone appropriately.
I see you back on your the top of your whatever you call that. You have your there. Yes, there it is. I can see your award.
Yeah, I've got some over there, and I have another shelf over here. I have one up here. I recently did a photo shoot with a local photographer. I'm trying to get some marketing pictures together with the awards, and we're just trying to do some fun things with that.
Yeah,
that
good.
I can use throughout the year for marketing. So yeah. It was great. They were all great. It's great to get the video awards because some of those were for clients, and I was very happy to have those clients and do those video jobs for them. But then to get the studio award again was very surprising.
Did I ask you what advice you would give to another studio owner? Did I already say that? I don't think
Well, it was kind of advice about if they would want to come on board.
Yeah. What advice would you give to all studio owners because, not everybody enters the Hanleys. Most people do, but sometimes people think, oh, my stuff's not good enough, or I haven't done anything. You've always entered. And this year, I think you entered almost every category. Plus you went through backlot, which I know that was quite the experience for you.
Oh, experience. Yeah, it was fun. I don't know if I'd do it again, but I had fun with John Sailing, and we had a good time together. And I do have to say thank you to everyone who submitted video clips and pictures for me to use. We tried to bring all that in. But advice for the Hanleys, I do submit every year. Sometimes there's a few categories that I may not be an actual client, but I just want to do something fun or
Yeah.
different, and it just challenges me. I would say submit, submit, submit. I went 2 years without getting a Hanley. So you don't always, but it's always good to see what the other studio winners do. You can get ideas from the videos that you see, and it just makes you think, okay, well, I know Robert says the winners are videos he likes to watch. And so, and
So
but
figure out what Robert likes to watch.
well, and you don't know. I mean, it's like artwork, it's every year's different, you know, and I feel like having a variety of different things that I've worked on helps. Like I don't do drone work. And I don't do a lot of corporate videos, but I did have a corporate one this year, and and I think the category is company video. And then so I think having different things to enter helps. But I would say just submit, and it helps you just get your craft better. And even though I have been editing since for like 30 years, there's still new things to learn, especially with the After Effects. I'm working on a video now where I'm just having to really take what I learned from Brett's class this summer and push myself to go a little deeper. It's After Effects is challenging for me, but I really, really want to use it. And so I'm pushing myself. I'm just making myself do a video. And it's just like a sample promo for something, but it's just to challenge me to edit better.
So you would say, if you're watching this now and you're a studio owner, start thinking now about videos you can make for the Hanleys, or even for advanced training movie night. You should make some things. The easiest one to do, and I'm not sure, I think you won for this, is best trailer tag, something
Or promo.
promo. Yeah, studio promo. And that's one category. That's easy to do, right?
Well, and and I had talked to you at advanced training last spring. We had a little one-to-one, and I think you said that you're like, just do a tag, and I honestly don't use them a lot, but I need to. So that was the very first After Effects I did, and it was very, very, very basic, but it was very cool because the water, just where I live, we're surrounded by water, and it just made sense with the water and the palm tree and the logo kind of, I wouldn't have known how to do that without doing an After Effects template.
Yeah.
So that was just my intro into that. And honestly, I really didn't think about entering that until, I was going through all the list of all the categories. I'm like, well, I'll just enter it. And I mean, I like it. So it was nice.
That's what's really important, if you like it, seriously. And when you enter, you compete, even if you don't win, even if the experience is grueling, you grow, you get better. I spent hundreds of hours on a film I submitted to Sundance, and I never even heard anything. But one thing, well, anyway, let's move forward. Okay, moving forward, let's all move forward in our chairs just a little bit. Okay, everybody. All right, so any questions or comments for Cheryl from out there in studio land? You might have to unmute, but I'd like to see if we have any questions today.
Cheryl, I just loved how you had share from the heart. It's God's timing for all these things, and I can't wait to try the cookie approach here for that personal touch. So thanks for sharing that as well.
Yeah, and one thing I'll just add about what I found this year, and a lot of you probably you've already lived in communities, we're still relatively new here. And I feel like working with the local cookie person, so it's supporting her small business, and now she knows what I do. And with the different media that she put on the cookie, then we're kind of sharing, I'll tell people about her cookies and she'll tell them about what I do. And so just kind of getting out there. I know, Robert, you said one of the tips you gave was just go to a local coffee shop once a week or a couple times a week. I don't know how many you go, but just so people see you there, they see your car, they see your logo shirt, and what is that? And those things are important in getting people to know who you are. And those are the kind of things that have gotten better for me since we've come out of the pandemic, for sure.
What's your future plans for the next 12 months? What do I know you have a vision board, but what about do you have any new goals for the studio? Are the videos you do, or the types of videos you do?
I mentioned the After Effects. That's one. I am going to do a fall food drive. I've never done that. I've always liked the idea. And it's interesting because I want to do that. And I just had another friend in a networking group post something about the local food pantry that is in dire need of food. And so I just think it's going to be a good connection because they really need food. And I'm working through the details of what I want to do. But I've got to go out of town the end of this week, but then I want to do it when I get back. The other goal, to continue to try to bump my sales numbers up a little bit. There was something else and I've just drawn a blank. Oh, well. I forgot it. Maybe
Well, it also seems like you have in your studio, talking about lifestyle, you have a real flexible lifestyle. You do take off and take long weekends or even a week to go here or there. So how are you're able to balance all that? Your customers go along with that?
I do. And I guess everybody else can probably relate to this as well. Most people have had the tubs in their closet for 20 years, so they're usually not in a hurry. When I do travel, that's a lot of times I'll take my computer and I can edit I could do editing while I'm away. My brother and my brother-in-law also, I've shown them a little bit about how things work and they help me. And so that helps a little bit, but yeah, definitely the lifestyle is very, very nice. Because I can really, like, all this week while I'm home before I go, I can really work and just knock things out. And then, one of the things that's nice about being at home as opposed to a storefront is that I can work at night. I try to carve out time to, have dinner with my husband or go for a walk or sit on the porch or whatever. And we certainly do that. But, if I need to work late on something, I can, or get up early or work on a weekend. It is a very, very nice, flexible lifestyle.
We are very privileged to have you as a studio owner. As I always mention, we appreciate all studio owners, rookies of the year, which you were a rookie of the year, and studio owner of the year. I think one component of that is and other studio owners probably don't know, but a lot of you go the extra mile for home video studio and do a lot. And if it was just Robert Hanley in Indiana, it would be a lot harder, but we do have the home video studio family. And I'm always talking about camaraderie and the lifestyle. You're a really, really good example of that. We're happy to have you. Bye.